The audio, and next video I want to try and do one slowly with a basically an ear mic, and I want to try it out. It's basically the same as the lapel microphone, but I want to try it just to see how well it does, and it was cheap too, so I want to see just how good, if it's either the same or identical to the other one. Who knows? I'll see which one I like best. But I do got some other mics coming because I want to. They're not high end or high dollar mics, but I want to try to do a setup where it's basically up on the workbench and hands free, and see how well it sounds and all that. But anyway, bear with me. We'll try to get this squared away. The MBT, this is going to be probably more of a weekend build, because number one, I got to decipher the instructions there, which it's kind of unclear, and I was test fitting it, and it kind of fits and kind of doesn't, and it should fit something like so. And it's got to fit over the engine and everything, and I don't think it really fits too well. And there's two, I'll show it on this side. There's, if you can see it, there's two holes that actually, right through here, that you fit the little bracket on, and I gotta figure out how to put the other bracket, because you get two, and there's a little, I guess a pin, which I don't know. I'm going to have to try to find it on the sprue here, which I don't know if it actually, if it ain't just a blob of plastic, or I need to, cut up a piece of styrene tube and fix that in, and to adjust it and all that. But anyway, I want to have to, that's going to be more of a, probably a Sunday build, so I have a little more time to mess with it. The GTX. Down in the future, and I'm going to put a future on that probably tomorrow, and I'll explain that in just a minute, but it's ready to go. All I got to do is put the clear lenses on, and I'll put the windshield on after I put the future on. Then I'm probably going to dip it and then put it on, but I'll jump that bridge. But anyway, I just got basically put the clear lenses on, and we will be ready to put some future, and then put the very few decals that go on it. So anyway, I got to touch up the back here. You really can't see it. I didn't drop it. I basically nicked it back here. I got just a little, needs a little, just a little touch up paint. That was my fault. I was a little clumsy when I was here on the workbench. But anyway, future will be up. That'll probably be tomorrow, and then I'm going to let it sit for a day. The Death Star, little by little, I pretty much get the tape on. I just do a section at a time, and it's not a whole lot. It's just putting down some, cutting it, putting down some, cutting it, and that's pretty much it. I'm going to do a little more today, and then we'll continue on until we get it all taped off. And then I'm going to do airbrush. I'm going to do a very light setting, like 10 psi, and just some paint will be a little bit darker, some will be a little bit lighter. And then up here, it's pretty much all going to be one color, and then I'll just I'll pick out a couple of different squares on top, and just to different panels of shading, not a whole lot, just enough to make it just a tad bit different, just the same way on the bottom. But anyway, slowly but surely we will get that accomplished, and a little more tape, and we'll be good to go. The Crazy Horse. So what I did is I did get the base coat on, which is Duck Egg Blue. It's a Model Master acrylic. And basically, I got to paint just a little bit more, and that's I got to paint the neck and the black here on the nacelles, which I'm going to try to get that accomplished. But I'm going to probably shoot future on it, and I'll do a coat of future on the whole thing, and then while I get future, I'll do the car. I like to do the assembly line. Once I got to do, especially like when you paint, if you had to paint like say that was a green Death Star, a green car, a green plane, you can just paint it all one whack. And if you needed to shade everything, pre-shade, post-shade, or you need to do some shading just in general, different panels, you could do that all in one whack. But anyway, we're going to do future all one, and then we'll be ready to go. I just got a little painting just to do, just a little minor tweaks on it, and then it'll be ready for decals. And then we're going to be using Creations Aztec decals, which are pretty darn slick. And if you use Creations, you got to cut like real close to the edge of the decal film, because that's all one continuous sheet. But anyway, it always shows it bright. And one thing with Aztec decals, and it's not because it's not like a cartograph, especially when you use these type of decals, it won't be as bright. It'll be just a little bit duller, which is what I like, because I think it looks more realistic than having bright, for example, bright blue decals, on the model itself. But anyway, that's what I'm going to be doing next. So I'll once I get future on the Crazy Horse, get future on the GTX, I can start decals, and I'll probably do a couple decals on that just to get started, and then I can do decals on that, and then we can button it up and get it done and onto its home where it needs to be. But anyway, that's what I've got going on today. That's a quick little update. We got the base coat painted on the Crazy Horse. Masking duty continues on the Death Star. MBT it's slowly going to get constructed, and we're getting ready to do some future on the GTX. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next. And we're still working on the audio here at the Institute of BHP. So that's what I got going on today, so stay tuned for the next exciting episode.